Welcome to Guzzler.
Hello and welcome back to Guzzler Extra. This is episode 6 of Marvel Mondays, talking about episode... Why has he got a mask on?
Because it's dusty in here, mate.
Episode 8 of WandaVision.
Guzzler Extra.
Boys, how are we?
Yeah, I'm
bad, thank you.
Cold.
So, good episode, bad episode? What do you think?
Yeah,
It was a really good episode.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. So, this was kind of the return of
The Jedi.
the MCU.
Yeah.
Don't bring up Star Wars. This could be such a good episode.
We did that yesterday.
This is like a return to actual MCU, and we got rid of the sitcoms finally. They've transitioned out of it now. Do you like it better? Like it worse?
I think this... I'm just saying that last episode I said they struggled to bridge the gap, and then I said from there on in it would be good. And I feel like I was right. The sitcom stuff was good. They struggled to transition from sitcom back to this, but this episode was good. They're back on track. They've done that. Here they are. It was a good episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
agree
think
with
there's a better one. I think just last week was the problem.
Yeah.
And I also feel like last week feels even worse in retrospect now, because we found out the sitcom thing this episode. Obviously, we'll go on to that, but like we found out that she likes the sitcoms because in foreign countries they often learn English from sitcoms and all that sort of stuff. So why is there a Modern Family episode? She was literally not in Sokovia when Modern Family was on.
That's true, yeah.
So like that last episode even feels like what a weird progression, because it's not even meaningful to her. The other shows were. Last week's was just, I don't even know what it was all about. It just seems weird now.
So we start out with them in Agatha's basement, and we get to learn. Well, actually, we start in Salem at the witch trials, or just after the witch trials, where we see Agatha back 400 years ago, and her mum tries to kill her. Good, some really good.
I feel like witches in the MCU feels really weird. It just feels strange to me. I like it, but it just feels weird. And like the whole scenes just felt strange. To think that that's in the same universe as like Thanos and Iron Man and stuff.
Yeah, it felt like it should have been like in Sabrina and or Riverdale, not WandaVision.
Yeah, Riverdale. It felt so much like Riverdale. That was it. Really took me out of that. But yeah, I thought it was a good scene though.
And then it cuts back to Agatha's basement. And we learn a little bit about magic. You know, whoever writes the runes works for the, I don't know, whatever the bollocks she said.
Yeah, it's like you can't use magic within another witch's cast runes or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And then we get the door. And we go through the first door. We see the situation that Wanda was describing in Age of Ultron when a Stark bomb come through her house.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, there's something different in WandaVision compared to the explanation she gave. Did anyone realise?
What?
No.
In the explanation she gives in Age of Ultron, she says we were sitting at the dinner table, or I think Quicksilver says actually, Pietro, says we were sitting at the dinner table when the bomb come through. But when we get to the room, they're sitting and watching telly.
Maybe that's
I think that's quite
because-
easy to explain away, though, isn't it?
Maybe that's because he's like trying to suppress the memory when in her she's obviously
That's what I'm saying,
traumatized
just
by
like
the fact of it. Yeah.
recollections and
Yeah.
stuff. Because we already know that she's changing the memories a bit because she uses her powers in this, right? Or it's implied by Agnes.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Agatha,
I
sorry.
think the scene was kind of used to explain why she used sitcoms.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, of course, and it explains the toaster in the first advert as well, which we already knew anyway because of the red light on the bomb.
Yeah.
But like, it also is used because Agatha says to her, "You used a probability hex." Agatha implies that Wanda already had powers. She already had some sort of power, and they didn't give her powers when they experimented on her. They just made them more powerful, or they brought them to the forefront, or something like that. Which is what you said to me over Messenger. That you said maybe it's a mutant thing. Maybe it's a mutant.
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it? Yeah.
I had a little look into that, and apparently in one comic they say Wanda isn't a mutant; she's a mutate. So there was a dormant gene, and something brought the mutant gene in quotation marks out of her. So she isn't like a true mutant that was born with these very specific powers. She was born with a dormant gene that something turned it on.
Yep. Which it seems like they could be sort of exploring.
Hinting towards. Which is obviously an avenue towards mutants in the MCU, which we all already kind of had an idea
that
it was going in that direction anyway.
When the dad brings home the case, it's full of like Dick Van Dyke Show and like Bewitched and stuff like that, which is obviously like they're all the ones in which we live through, isn't it? She lives through. Yeah.
And did you notice the traditional Sokovian greeting when the dad puts his hands over her eyes?
Yeah,
it
that's
takes you back to
I
episode
didn't notice
1.
that, but yeah, that makes sense.
So then we get the second door, which is her being experimented on. Is that right?
Well,
Yeah,
actually, the weird
yeah.
thing about that is that in the first episode, when she puts her hand over the eyes, when she says this is a traditional Sokovian thing, it sounds like she's just trying to come up with some excuse.
Yeah.
But actually, it is the...
Yeah, which was quite a nice touch. It's really like clever continuity by the producers there.
Yeah.
Then we get the experimentation.
Yes.
So we get Wanda going in to the chamber with the scepter.
And on the door, for when the chamber she goes into is the Hydra symbol on the door.
Right.
Which is the second dream, isn't it? Then?
Yeah.
Yeah, struck her.
And then it opens up and it shows her what we now know is her future self, or
Is it,
the
though?
character of, well,
Or
the
is it a
Scarlet
different-
Witch gets passed down. So that's who we see. We see the
'Cause there's a
Scarlet Witch.
There's a lot of conversation about whether this is actually her future form in her actual costume. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is the bit of the episode that I got most excited at, to be honest with you. Seeing like actual Scarlet Witch come out of the thing. This is like the moment.
Mind Stone,
it's like, this is amazing. But like, is it actually future self her, or is it just like the multiverse nexus presence of the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah. So in the comics, it gets passed down, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's much difference between those two things. But like, will we ever actually see her look like that? I don't know.
Let's hope
Well,
so.
in the little snippets we got where the character or the actor stood behind loads of different TVs and they had different parts of costume. Yeah, in one of them, she's wearing that costume.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I
in
thought
season
that-
finale, we get to see that.
I thought that was a Halloween costume that she was wearing.
No, it's a different one
is it?
with her. It's the costume she wears on the telly is like got little bits of armor and stuff on. It's not just a red
Okay.
leotard.
It'd be cool we could say as part of the comic for her to dress like that. Like, I'd like if they
Yeah.
brought in Wolverine for him to be in his like yellow and blue like comic book thing. I think
Would
that'd be so
you?
cool. I think that'd be so cool. I think it'd be such an ode to him. I think it'd be well
It's a
cool.
bit cringe though.
Because he never got it, did he?
Yeah, no, he
No,
didn't.
he
and
didn't.
I don't think that'd be sick.
It only
I
got
don't think that'd be
teased.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Wolverine, so I'd like to see it. But
Yeah, but then the Mind Stone wipes the footage from Strucker. So
yeah, it does. Yeah.
all they see is her standing up and then all of a sudden laying down, where obviously the viewers get to see a different aspect of that,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is a nice little touch.
It is.
So then we get Sword Facility.
We go on to the bit where she's in the bed and Vision comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, and we get that lovely monologue. from
Yeah, that's
Paul
the
Bettany.
best scene in the episode, I think.
It's I think one of the best scenes in the MCU.
But back to the Modern Family thing. They sit and they watch some. Did they watch Dick Van Dyke stuff? Was that this?
In the first bit they did.
No, they
yeah.
watch what's his name? And the thing falls on him. From Brian
Oh,
Cranston.
Malcolm in the Middle.
So that makes sense, I guess. How they, but they. I'm just angry about the Modern Family thing. At some point, she should have been watching Modern Family.
Modern Family, yeah.
Because like they've explained the early sitcoms, now they've explained Malcolm in the. Did she ever watch Modern Family, or The Office?
We can just assume that she did.
But it's weird, isn't it? They're the
I
only
think
ones
It
that
needs
didn't
to
show.
be, but like not even
Yeah.
just watch, but like it needs to mean because if she's watched Malcolm in the Middle with Vision, especially when they have that moment and when they were getting together and when they were forming a relationship, that's going to mean a lot to her, just like the ones that she watched with her parents.
It should have showed.
That feels
you know,
nice to me.
You know, in
Maybe-
Infinity War, when
Yeah.
her and Vision are like they're up in Scotland somewhere, aren't they? They're living their life.
Yeah.
It should have showed you them watching like Modern Family, The Office then.
Or The Office or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Maybe
just
it's
think
worth looking back and seeing if something like that is on telly,
Yeah,
because
that's
there's
what I'm
tellies in
thinking,
them
like-
scenes.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So we get that really quite emotional monologue from Vision there, saying that grief isn't sadness; it's the continuation of love or something like that. Which is
It's-
a cute little note from him there.
It was like love, the perseverance of love or something.
Oh yeah,
Love
that's it.
persevering.
Love persevering. Yeah. And then I think this is the bit where we cut back to modern day and she goes to the sword facility.
Yeah.
Is that now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
Agatha's like, show me, how did you do it? How did you do it? And then like she angrily walks into like, the sword facility. Yeah.
And the funniest thing I find about this is she goes to reception and they're like, no. This 3 weeks ago was about to tear Thanos in half.
Yeah.
Just like casually, and they're like, no, you can't go through the little door over there. Nah, soz.
Yeah.
If she'd come up to me, I'd be like, do you want?
Do you want, mate? Yeah.
Have it, mate.
Good stop you.
Yeah, and then we see that quite awful scene with Vision torn apart.
And which we've
I'm
always
going to
thought
say
that
something
she...
controversial here. I don't think
Right.
Hayworth's that bad in this episode.
No, he's
I don't
not.
think he did anything
I
that
don't think it's that bad. Because he, especially in the sword facility, he's just talking to her and he's just like, sorry, we had to do it because...
He's just like, this is my job. Like, I just
Yeah.
have to. This is what we do. Like, Vision is literally a weapon. He's dead. There's nothing. He is just a machine at the moment.
Yeah.
He's literally a robot.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't take billions of pounds worth of vibranium. You can't do it,
We
yeah.
can't just let you walk in and just take it. That's not
Yeah.
how this works.
Well, the other
But,
piece
but
that
they're
bad.
engaged. Like, surely she has some
Yeah,
right to.
But he does let her, doesn't he? He does let her. And then when she, like, smashes the glass out and they go down and everyone's, like, aiming their gun, Hay was like, just let her have a minute. Just let her, like...
But
let her have
do
a
you
time.
think that's because he was hoping she'd do some witchy woo and turn him back on, so he got his sentient weapon back?
Yeah, because he was trying to. He was kind of taunting her, wasn't he?
Yeah,
When
he
he
was,
was like-
trying to goad her into doing something that
Don't you know, I don't
brought
like
Vision
him,
back.
but in this scene, I think he came across. He came across alright. I actually quite liked
Yeah.
him for some reason. I don't know
No,
why.
I agree with you. I do agree with you there, yeah.
He just had nice vibes.
Yeah, and then she leaves after saying, I can't feel you, which is quite sad because in Infinity War, when she's about to kill him, he says, I can only feel you.
Yeah.
And there was quite that stark contrast there.
He's left the deed on her car.
Yeah.
in her
That's
car
it, yeah,
for
yeah.
her house,
Um,
and it's got the
and
love
then
heart
we-
on it.
That's it.
How
To
did that
grow
get
old
there?
in V in a love heart.
How'd that get there?
When she come back, I assume that he'd already got it sorted in the case of his death.
No, but I mean, how did the letter get in her car? Because she just come out of her car, ain't she?
Yeah, but
That's
it's
not how it got there.
probably like she already got it when at
Okay, maybe.
Tony's funeral or something. The thing that annoys me about that, at what point in time did Vision have the time to go buy a house?
Yeah, I know.
in
It's a bit
New
random,
Jersey?
isn't it?
They got together during the start of Infinity War, or just before, and they spent 2 years on the run.
But he's
They were kind of
he's-
together in Civil War, though.
He's on in computers, isn't he? He can
Yeah,
always do it from his
it's
head.
weird, but they weren't like
He's got
together,
right move
were
in
they?
here somewhere.
Yeah, he's just got right
Purple
he's just done
bricks.
it.
Yeah, but when did he get the time to go and buy a house in New Jersey while they were on the run?
Well,
No idea.
Vision can't sleep, can he? He doesn't sleep. So probably at night time, he's just looking up and going, right click here, right left click.
Man's
down,
tapped. He's just
Yeah.
scrolling.
He can
through
fly
houses.
ridiculously fast
Yeah.
as well. He can literally just zoom.
And then we see the explanation of Westview. So she starts to drive through it. We see the characters.
Yeah, boy.
Well, firstly, I'll say that like we always thought that she stole Vision. She doesn't steal Vision. She just accepts
Yeah,
it
that
was
and
nice.
leaves.
No,
Yeah.
it was a little lie. I thought that she was gonna open that letter, get really angry, and go back in and get him.
Yeah, I just thought something was going to happen. I thought she was going to have to go back, or she was going to go to the
Yeah.
house, when she makes the house, isn't she? And then I thought she was going to go back. It was that was odd. But yeah, she goes through Westview. And it's a sad, tiring place.
Yes. But I think she's done him a favour.
Yeah.
To me.
There's one thing that I've googled this since, and it doesn't exist. But what I thought was that the old lady from the first episode who comes round there, she marries Phoebe's brother in Friends. Then you got the other man who looks like Ross. And then I thought, like some of the other actors in Westview, I wondered if they were in sitcoms. So I thought it made
that
sense.
would be nice.
and
And I went on
she's created
IMDb,
them.
and they weren't. But I thought that'd be really cool how they're in this sitcom town, and then maybe they were all just characters in the background of sitcoms. They weren't.
Yeah,
That'd be
'cause
very
she-
meta, though.
It would be.
She
But
became
they weren't.
famous in that 70s show.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And I thought that would.
Um,
They didn't.
yeah, and then we get that sort of big penultimate scene with her creating Westview, or the Westview that we know from WandaVision.
That's such a cool scene where everything just transforms back and stuff. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And everyone's happy living in Westview as well. Everyone is happy because she is happy.
Yeah, because she's got her love back.
Yeah, and that's weird, isn't it? That she makes Vision.
Yeah, she makes him.
And we did not expect that to happen. We thought she was like puppeteering him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess she kind of is. And it brings up the question from an episode before, either 4 or 5, when Vision goes, "You can't control me." Well, mate, she literally created you.
Yeah,
true. So she probably could. But did you notice that everything she was making was red, but Vision come out in the golden yellow of the Mind Stone?
Yeah.
So that's the big explanation of how Westview came to pass.
Yeah,
which is what we wanted, isn't it, Lee?
It is that she
Wanda went mad and she just did it. She Scarlet Witched it out.
We cut to Agatha clapping sadistically in the set. Obviously, Agatha changed it at that point in time to make it look like a TV set. And then Pop disappears and she starts hearing the kids. And that's when we get probably the most significant scene of the episode, with when Agatha calls her finally, in the MCU, the Scarlet Witch.
I'm so happy that they actually found like
a way to do it.
Good way for her to do it.
Yeah.
It didn't feel cheap.
No, it didn't.
No.
Like the Hex thing. The Hex thing was trash.
Now, this bit had me confused now, because if Wanda is capable of spontaneous creation, why did Vision die when he left the Hex?
I guess we don't know.
She can literally create him, like, without dying. That's what the premise of what Agatha is saying.
She's established these boundaries of her town. It looked like the boundary was pulling Vision back and like ripping bits of his body off. So it might be the barrier is just keeping him in because she's established this is her area and he can't leave that. Like, we don't know. He might be able to live outside the barrier if she lets him. We don't know, I guess.
True. And then we get the pissing "Please stand by."
Yeah.
That's taunted us every episode for 8 weeks. We get that big mid-credit scene where we find out that Hayward has created spectral vision.
I think I'll be honest with you, Dave, I don't like the use of spectral vision. I don't like it.
I don't either. I think it's stupid.
I like him white vision. I call him white vision personally, but yeah. I think it was fine.
I think it was nothing as cheap. I think it was just like a.
Well, it didn't get me excited.
No,
I'm worried about. Like I said to you, I'm worried about them fighting. It's gonna feel like I don't want it to be like the end of Logan because that came out literally like 2 years ago.
The thing that annoys me about it is the whole 8 weeks we've been here watching this. They have teased massive cosmic antagonists ready for Doctor Strange 2, and I don't want this big antagonist just to be a version of Vision.
Oh no, I agree. I don't want the antagonist to be Vision, but I also don't think they've teased cosmic ones. I think that's people finding the cosmic things, Mephisto and everything that ever exists. I don't think they have.
I think the cosmic thing was always going to be. I'm still not even. I still think they might tease a big bad at the end of this, but I feel like that was never going to be the big confrontation of WandaVision. It was always going to be like a end credit scene or something where you see, like, even if it is Mephisto, it'd be right at the end of WandaVision and you just see him in like hell and you find out that he's been sort of slightly involved. There was never going to be a fight between Mephisto and WandaVision.
And the reason for that,
WandaVision and Wanda.
Kevin Feige said that they couldn't do anything too big. He said that the series are like what you just said, Alfie. They can't do anything too big because anyone can go to the cinema, like old people, anything that can go to cinema. I said old people for a reason, but because but some of them don't have streaming services like Disney Plus to be able to watch these things.
I always saw an introduction of Mephisto as being like the introduction of Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, whereas like people they go see him and he's in it, but like you don't need to see Guardians of the Galaxy to know who Thanos is. He's just sort of in it.
Yeah, he said they can't do anything too big because if you don't watch WandaVision, you should still be able to watch the rest of the films.
People think Mephisto, because we have an idea that he's going to be in the MCU somewhere. I don't think he's going to play a massive part personally, but people think it's Owen Wilson, from the Loki trailers.
See, I saw it. People think he's Al Pacino.
Why?
Really?
Not a clue why, mate. Absolutely no idea. Couldn't even begin to guess.
Well,
Apparently, there's a
why are
problem
people
with
just
Mephisto in
fixated on
Chinese
this
markets,
idea?
though.
Yeah, they don't like having anything to do with the devil on screen. That's why they haven't brought him in.
Why people fixate on Mephisto?
They're obsessed, mate.
People
They're
are just
obsessed.
looking
Sartre.
for him to be in it.
Sartre is like a devil-like character, and that did
Yeah.
really well in China. So, don't know.
Now, I am actually going to feed into the Mephisto thing quickly, and could not care less if Mephisto's in this. But this is a general
don't
point
care anymore.
I keep meaning to bring up. So Marvel have a habit of their collected editions lines and their comic lines always correlate with like the TV shows.
Right.
Because it's good business, right? So, like, just before a Spider-Man film hits, Spider-Man came back to life. Just before Logan came out, Wolverine came back to life. They always do that. They love to do that. Loads of Vision and Wanda stuff came out just before WandaVision because people are going to buy it. Now, the Epic Collection line, which collects old comics, just released Fantastic Four Volume 6 just before WandaVision came out, and that has the first introduction of Agatha Harkness in it.
Right.
Now, people thought that might just be like a random coincidence. It obviously wasn't, because people are going to look up Agatha, they're going to look up when she appeared, and then they're probably going to go buy this book. Now, I have a subscription to American Comics. I get Amazing Spider-Man when it comes out. At the end of Amazing Spider-Man 60, this is a spoiler for Amazing Spider-Man 60, which came out 2 days ago, Mephisto appears at the end. Now, I don't think Mephisto's in WandaVision, but it's a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they're
And
going
also,
to, because they're now teasing Mephisto as having a massive storyline in Amazing Spider-Man starting in 2 weeks, which is the week after the WandaVision finale.
And Pop Figures have announced they're bringing out Mephisto as well.
See, toys is another massive one that tends to like correlate with things that are going to happen.
But the thing is, I don't want to watch 9 weeks of this show that I've really enjoyed,
For him to
and
fight
it's
himself.
like the start of Phase 4 for him to fight himself, and and Haywood be the big bad. No, give me something more, because we're going to have some time off from that sort of realm of cosmicity when we hit Falcon and Winter Soldier anyway. So I'm not going to be obsessed with it, because we're going to get something different really quickly.
But Feige has said that you can watch just the films, haven't got to watch any of the series, and the films will just make sense by themselves.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out next week, boys. Yeah. Apparently, this is kind of a leak, but it's just about the length of next episode. Are you happy to know this?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how long the next episode is. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know anything else at all. So a Redditor leaked the exact length of this episode and the one before. So he seems reliable, and he said that next week's is 50 minutes, including credits. So it means it's going to be like 42 minutes, which feels really disappointing.
Yeah. Because even Kevin Feige said the last 3 would be an hour long.
Did you
So
know,
where's
or did,
all
or
the
did
footage
someone
going?
say that Kevin
but-
Feige said it?
Yeah,
No,
apparently.
Kevin Feige said it.
No, but apparently no one can find where he said that. It was
I think
in reliable sources that Kevin Feige said it, but no one can find where he said it.
Yeah, because recently I keep seeing that, I'm like, have people just said, "Oh, Kevin Feige has said that," when actually, like, I
Well,
think
surely
I
he
made
did.
that.
Because he would have heard that someone saying he said they're all an hour long, and you would have thought that he'd just come out and say, "I didn't say that."
But then, suppose so, maybe, yeah. Well, I think that
He probably just saw the buzz and was like, I ain't going to correct him.
if it's
Who
only
cares?
50 minutes, then I think that's.
Yeah.
He's getting paid either way, isn't he?
I think 50 minutes is small. But bearing in mind, Vision's just going to fight himself in, isn't he?
That's the worry about it being 50 minutes, isn't it? But they're not
Yeah.
going to be able to set anything else up. So Vision's going to fight Vision, and then maybe, like, I think apparently the ending's sad. So I think either the kids or Vision's going to die personally.
Yeah.
And then that's it, isn't it? That's what it sounds like how it's going to end. But something mad's got to happen.
I think Vision's
there's
gonna...
also the Paul Bettany teasing him acting with someone he's always wanted to work with.
Yeah.
People think he might have been teasing the fact that he works with himself, and he was just taking the piss.
That would really annoy me as well.
Yeah, that'd be so annoying. That'd be really annoying.
Because the actors that they could use, like all the X-Men actors,
yeah,
anyone like that, brilliant, sick. What was with the Luke Skywalker reference as well? What would be the point of that?
Is Pietro Pietro? I don't know what they're doing with that either.
Oh, yeah,
that bothered me a little bit.
It sounded like she just
That's a bit
found
mental.
someone. She just founded someone and just made him Pietro. That's what it sounded like, didn't it?
Oh yeah, the writers said about this. So
Yeah.
apparently she's just picked up a random
Yeah, she's
body.
picked up a random person. Yeah, that's what. That's
Cool.
what
See,
it
that
said.
annoys
Pietro.
me a lot.
Yeah,
I think
'Cause
that's
now
ridiculous.
when Quicksilver does come in, if they use the X-Men version of Quicksilver, are they now not going to use him?
They
'Cause
won't, will
he's
they? They
just
won't.
been some stupid Easter egg in a sitcom
should've-
for 2 weeks.
If they wanted to pick up a random body, they should have got like a massive Hollywood star like Brad Pitt and was just made him Pietro or something like that, just for the laughs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, is it Brad Pitt that appears in Deadpool 2?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's the Invisible Man. He literally just appears for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Or like
That's
Matt
what it is.
Damon in
He didn't
Thor
get paid
Ragnarok.
for that.
No, he said he didn't. Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah, he just wanted
was
to
just
see
there
it.
though, wasn't he?
It'd do it.
Love
Um,
that. That's amazing.
Cool. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed that. We'll have a chat next Monday about what happens then.
Oh, hang on. Last point. That leak that said about the runtime also confirmed there's no 10th episode.
Okay.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, right. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to this Guzzler podcast.